Every generation asks the same question: why do good people suffer? This is the oldest answer ever given, and it still has not been improved upon. There was a man, not a king, not a prophet, not a miracle worker, just a man, who woke up every morning, looked at his life, and chose to be grateful. His name was Job, and if you have lived anywhere near him, in the ancient city of woods, you would have known his name. Not because he demanded attention, but because greatness has a way of making itself known. The scripture describes his wealth in very specific terms: 7 sons, 3 daughters, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen, 500 donkeys, and more servants than could be counted. Now understand what this meant. In the ancient world, this was not just comfort. This was extraordinary abundance, generational wealth, the kind of prosperity that takes multiple lifetimes to build. Job had it all in one lifetime. The scripture says he was the greatest man in all the East, not the richest, the greatest. There is a difference, and the difference is everything. In the ancient world, elders sat at the city gate. That was where decisions were made, where disputes were settled, where the most respected voices spoke. When Job arrived at the gate, young men stepped aside, old men stood up, nobles held your breath. That is the kind of man he was. But here is what I want you to understand about Job. Wealth without character is just a countdown to destruction. Job was not great because of what he had. He was great because of who he was. Every single morning, before the sun came up, before his servants woke up, before the business of the day began, Job was already on his knees. The scripture tells us something remarkable. Job had 10 children, and whenever they finished a season of feasting together, Job would rise early and offer sacrifices for each of them, just in case one of them had sinned in their heart. The scripture uses 4 words to describe this man: blameless, upright, feared God, turned from evil. 4 words. That is a lifetime of character compressed into 4 words. Somewhere beyond what human eye could see, a conversation was happening, and Job's name had just come up. Next time we find out what was said and why it would change everything Job thought he knew about his life. Part 2, coming Monday. Somewhere beyond what human eye could see, a conversation was happening, and Job's name had just come up. Next time we find out what was said and why it would change everything Job thought he knew about his life. Part 2, coming Monday.